What's up guys, my name is Steven, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can improve your gameplay, specifically on the map Fracture. Alright, so this is a new series that I'm working on where I will go into deep detail on clearing angles, entering sites, and holding sites on each map. This is mainly for newer players, players that are in lower elo, and for those who are like many, hard stuck in that cesspool they call silver. So as you know, Valorant is a team-oriented game, and in these low elo lobbies you can't always count on your team to properly use their utility, so these tips should help you develop better gun skills and crosshair placement to win more gunfights and secure rounds. We're going to start off with the A site on the attacking side, and Fracture is unique because it has a lot of different elevation, which makes knowing where to put your crosshair before peeking a bit challenging. So for A main, everybody knows this first double box here. I would suggest a jiggle peek or jump peek if you have the skills to do so, and then remember to always try to keep your crosshair at head level. It minimizes the amount of aim correction and will help you win a lot more gunfights. So after that first double box, you want to keep holding that as you make your way to the right side cubby. Always make sure you clear this cubby, especially if you're retaking the site. Now this is where things get a bit tricky, because to get into A main from A hall, there's about 6 different angles that you're going to have to clear. Now the first angle is simple, it's the single box, followed by the right side of the entrance. Now here's where your crosshair placement is very important, as you have to clear both top sight and bottom sight at the same time. Now this is better to do from the back side of the hall here, so you're not exposed to this left hand corner. Jiggle the top sight and then jiggle the bottom sight, or vice versa, whatever you're more comfortable with. The goal here is just to not be exposed to both angles for any extended period of time. So peek one, jiggle back, and then peek the other. Now you can get closer to the wall and clear that left side corner, and then strafe to the right and clear the far corner of the bottom sight. Now for clearing this single box, make sure you aren't too close to this wall on the left, as it'll leave you exposed to 2 other angles. A good reference point is this line here on the ground. Now if you don't have any teammates on the drop side, you're going to want to clear that also. So make sure your crosshair is already at the enemy's head level on the drop. Now bring your crosshair back down to make sure nobody is peeking you from this double orange box. Now that that's all clear, it's time to clear the stairs. This again is a very tricky area because you're exposed to the top and bottom side at the same time. In my experience, it has been more common that they will be on the bottom side, so I would suggest clearing that until you get to the edge of the staircase. Now while keeping your crosshair at head level, you want to clear the top of the stairs before swinging the corner. And now to clear that corner tucked in the bottom sight, if you back up closer to the orange double box, you can clear the corner without exposing yourself to the defender's spawn. And from there, make your way back to the stairs while clearing defender's spawn, and now you can clear the top sight. Remember, this orange box is spammable. So that's how to clear out A main to get on site. Now let's take a look at dish. So for the dish side, you have a choice. You can either go to the left around the dish or to the right around the dish. We're going to start with the left side first. So the first thing you're going to want to do is hold this angle here for a second, as someone will more than likely be contesting you for this ultimate orb. And then you're going to want to clear the rest of this right hand side before clearing the left. Now that the right's clear, you can clear the left side of this rock, followed by the deep corner. Remember to not wide swing here, because you only want to be exposed to one of these angles at a time. Once you get to the rock, this is where the elevation changes again. So make sure your crosshair is up high enough to be at head level. So you're going to clear the top of the drop, followed by the far cubby corner. Now you're going to have to bring your crosshair back down to clear the back of the dish. Once the dish is clear, make sure you aim back up to the top left of the drop, followed by this sneaky left hand corner. Make sure you always clear this corner. I had to learn the hard way. And now back to aiming up high to clear this close cubby corner. Now for the right side, same rules apply. Hold this angle for a second for enemies contesting the orb, clear the rest of the right hand side, peek the left rock and then the deep corner one at a time. Now, once you get up to the orb, the elevation gets a little weird again with ups and downs as you clear the close part of this ramp, the sneaky corner, and the rest of the back of the dish. Now while keeping your crosshair at head level, You clear all the way up the ramp to the top left corner, followed by the far cubby corner, and then wrap around for this close right corner. Alright, so now that the dish is clear and you're finally on the drop, the first spot to clear is the double orange box and the corner just to the right of it. Now by standing on the right side of the drop, you can clear the single box of A main, the lower stairs, the top of the stairs, and finally the left side of the default plant spot on bottom site, all without being exposed to the rope or the defender's spawn. So now that you've cleared as much of the site as possible, you can back up a little bit and clear the rope. In my experience, the enemies are more likely to be top rope than on the bottom connector due to the danger of the A-hall door. Once rope is clear, you can clear defender's spawn and jiggle peek the single box so that way you're not exposing your back for too long to the top part of site that you haven't cleared yet. And now you can go to the right side of the drop again to clear the rest of that top site. Once you drop down, keep your eye on A main as you make your way to the site, and then peek this far left corner first, followed by the close left corner. Then continue to clear A main as you make your way to this default box without exposing yourself to that corner that's tucked back here. Once you get to that box, you can now safely peek that corner without the danger of being shot from A main as you've just cleared it. Now just keep your eye on defender's spawn as you clear the top side corner. Alright, so now that you're on site, I'm going to show you a couple post plant spots that I've found to be the best. The first spot is going to be for if the spike is planted in this default safe spot. I would suggest playing in this bottom site corner area as you can move around to only be exposed to one angle at a time while watching both A main and the rope connector. Now if the spike is planted in this deep corner, you can play post plant in A main. It is a little more dangerous because you can get sandwiched, but if you can play it safe, you have a clear line of sight on the spike while the enemy is defusing. Alright, to wrap up A site, I'm going to show you my favorite spots to hold while you're on the defender's side. The first spot is going to be that same bottom site corner as the post plant. I think it's just a really good spot for watching both A main and the connector. And the second spot is going to be the rope. It allows you to watch both the drop and the door, but most importantly, it allows you to fall back into spawn to retake the site with your team. Now if you're rotating from B through spawn, this site is a bit tricky to retake, but just remember, one angle at a time. We're going to start with the left side of this double orange box, then the stairs, right side of bottom site, left side of the wall top site, left side of default on the bottom, then left side of top site, and finally the far side of the drop. Then as you walk out to the single box, you can clear the rope connector. And while walking towards the connector, you can then clear the far corner of bottom site, followed by clearing this gray double box. Now you can approach the orange double box by keeping your eye on the drop. This will keep you from being exposed to anybody in A main and creeping out of A main. Now you can approach the drop and clear the rest of the site as we did earlier while coming from dish. And that wraps up A site. Now let's go take a look at B. Alright, so for B main, the first angle here is the obvious stair peek. Once this gets handled by either the enemy getting killed or the jet whiffs its shot and dashes back onto site, things start to get a bit tricky. Elevation plays a huge role on B site, so knowing where to place your crosshair is not easy. So to start, as you come up this first set of stairs, hug the wall on the right and clear this angle on the top left of the site. And then you're going to clear the left side of this green box. Now as you get closer, you're going to have to bring your crosshair to the bottom right corner of this single gray box, as that is a common yet sneaky spot for defenders to hold. Then you clear the right side of this box, arcade connector, defender spawn, and finally canteen, all one angle at a time. Now on the final set of stairs, you're going to want to peek this tower door. So make sure your crosshair is back up at head level for the higher elevation. Then clear the close left cubby followed by the back of these boxes. Finally, while keeping your eye on both canteen and the defender spawn, make your way into tower. Do a quick jiggle on the left hand side to make sure nobody's tucked away, then clear the right side of the wall and then the deep corner. So that's how you clear out B main. Now let's take a look at the arcade side. Now a lot like dish, you have a choice here. You can go right to the rope up into tower, or you can go left towards the defender spawn. We're going to start with the left side again. So the first thing you're going to want to do is hold this angle for a second as someone is likely to be contesting this ultimate orb. Then make your way over to the box to clear the close left just in case someone snuck by or if you're retaking the site. Then you're going to clear the left side of the arcade entrance, followed by the left side of the box, and now you're aiming high again as you clear the left side of tower. Now you can jiggle to clear the right side of the tower, then bring your crosshair back down to jiggle the right side of the box. Doing this allows you to not be exposed to both angles for an extended period of time. Then you can clear your deep right corner. Now what you can do is line yourself up with the corner of this box, and now clear one angle at a time as we get closer to the box. Start with the right wall, the double box by canteen, and the front of the generator. Now you can safely clear the back of the box. Keep your eye on the back of the generator while you make your way up to this corner. Check defender spawn, and then you can clear the back of these sight boxes, and make sure you clear this right close corner and then clear the left cubby. Now you can clear the tower the same way as we did earlier. Now if you choose to go right into the tower, you're going to do everything the exact same all the way up to clearing the back of the arcade box. Now when you go up the rope, you're going to want to stop yourself so you're only exposed to the opening on the right side. Then you can swing and clear the left deep corner. Now you're going to want to peek the door, then the far corner, and finally the close right corner. Now from the left side of this door, you're going to clear the cubby as you make your way to the right side of the door. Then you can clear canteen, the back of the boxes on the site, the generator, and then that close left corner behind the boxes. Alright, so now that you're on the site, I'm going to show you a couple post plant spots that I have found to be the best for me. The first spot is going to be in this cubby. It's a little bit dangerous, but it's good if you want to take duels on enemies coming from defender spawn and canteen. You can move yourself around to only be exposed to one of these angles at a time. The other spot is in the tower. If the spike gets planted in the cubby, you have a straight line of sight from the door while the enemy is defusing. Also, if you know the enemy is pushing the site, you can quietly wrap around to arcade and flank them from the connector. Alright, to wrap up B site, I'm going to show you a couple spots to hold while on the defender's side. The first spot is behind these boxes. If you crouch, you can get a pretty good angle on B main, and also you can peek from the right side of this green box. Just got to be careful though, because the green box is spammable. The next spot would be the tower. It's really good for holding angles on the arcade bench area, as well as holding the entrance to site from B main. Now if you're rotating from A site through spawn, we're going to be doing the same thing as earlier, clearing one angle at a time, trying not to expose ourselves to multiple angles. We're going to start by peeking the left side of this gray box, and then while keeping our crosshair at head level, we're going to clear the corner of B main, and then the generator, and finally our close left corner. Now we're going to be making our way to the generator, so start by clearing B main again, then the left side of the gray box, and then the tower door. Now we clear the arcade connector, and we can clear the rest of the site the same way we did earlier when we were coming from arcade. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video, and again, each game you play is situational, so this might not work every time. I'm just trying to give you the best ways to clear angles that I've found that have helped me get better and win more gunfights. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it helps me out more than you know. And if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and also let me know what map I should do next. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.